So this is my final topic today. After the lecture, I go to the chair over there on my right side and do the demo. I will do the demo for broken file removal, bypassing the rate, and MTA obturation. So when is the best time to obturate the root canal? There are many studies supporting the same thing. Patients experience, this is a systematic review. As you know, systematic review is the highest level of evidence. So patients experience less frequency of short-term postoperative pain after the single visit than having multiple visits. So this means you should finish the case in one visit. It doesn't have to be multiple visits. Healing rate of single and multiple visit root canal treatment is similar for infected teeth. And from this study, this is a randomized control trial, also high level of evidence. And it was concluded from a microbiological point of view, treatment of teeth with epicoperiodontitis performed in 2 appointments, 2 visits, was not more effective than the single visit procedure. Again, you can finish the case in 1 visit. You don't need to apply calcium hydroxide in the root canal and wait a week, 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be that way. No statistically significant difference was noted between the single and multiple visits in terms of survival rate. The single visit root canal treatment was safer, this time safer in terms of endodontic flare-ups compared to multiple visit root canal treatment. So if you want your patient to be symptom-free, no postoperative pain, you should finish the case in 1 visit. It's safer to be that way. So now I want to show you the comparison between the 2 preparation techniques using MTA or Garapacha fillings. So if you want to prepare the canal for root fillings with Garapacha and the sealer, you need more taper. You need more instrument. But if you want to use MTA as a root filling material, you don't need many instruments. The taper can be less, like a 0.0 or 4%. So the preparation takes less time if you want to obturate the canal with MTA than using Garapacha and the sealer. So you can be, to make it short, minimally invasive in preparation for MTA root fillings. What about the properties of root fillings between MTA and Garapacha? If you look at the Garapacha here, you have the setting shrinkage, 7% if you use Garapacha. And the success or good prognosis will depend on the coronal restoration, as I told you earlier. If you look at the MTA expands over time instead of shrinking. And you will have interfacial layer between dentin and MTA consisting of hydroxyapatite. And MTA is completely bactericidal, meaning you can eliminate bacteria from the root canal even if you have biofilms on the root canal walls. And MTA can increase fracture resistance over time. MTA is biocompatible and bioactive, meaning you can promote cementogenesis, osteogenesis, and PDL reformation. There are many advantages over the use of MTA as a root filling material compared to Garapacha and the sealer. And above all, MTA can bond to dentin whereas gutta-percha does not bond to dentin. So this is my case. I used to use gutta-percha and the sera. I use system B and the continuous wave of condensation technique. So I filled the root canal using continuous wave of condensation technique. However, I waited many months, but it didn't heal. So I decided to remove the gutta-percha and replace the gutta-percha and the sera with MTA. I waited 9 months, 1 year. You see the complete periapical healing compared to the tooth with gutta-percha fillings. The difference between this and this was the material used as a root filling material. So that's why MTA is better. This is another case. Maybe I don't have time to show you everything, so let me skip this one. So I will show you the properties of MTA. First of all, the size of the MTA, particle size. The particle size of MTA is smaller than the size of dentinal tubules. Look at them here. The particle size of MTA is 0.5 to 3 microns, as compared to the size of dentinal tubules ranging from 2 to 5 microns. MTA, as I told you, is bioactive, hydraulic, bactericidal. There are many advantages using MTA, especially in retreatment. I really wonder why there are not many people using MTA as a root filling materials, because dental school still teaches the students to use gutta-percha and the sera. I think it's time to teach the students to use MTA, especially in retreatment. Because as I keep telling you this, gutta-percha does not bond to dentin, allowing bacteria to get into the root canal and go to the periapical tissues, creating inflammations. Nothing good. So MTA should be mixed with phosphate buffered saline, this one. Because if you mix it with PBS, you will have more sealing ability and you will eliminate more bacteria. Supported by this study. So I always mix MTA with PBS, phosphate buffered saline. So if you look at the dentinal tubules, there are many bacteria in the dentinal tubules, but if you use MTA inside the root canal, those bacteria in the dentinal tubules will be calcified, crystallized, and die, eliminated. Like this. And this is a very interesting study and very good study. The effect of using EDTA or we didn't know how much dentinal tubules will be crystallized. But this study for the first time showed the length of the crystallization in the dentinal tubules. So green areas show the extent of crystallization in the dentinal tubules. So let me go back. So MTA was inside the root canal, but you see the green areas, they are completely crystallized. And this is the conclusion. So penetration depth of prolute MTA into dentinal tubules is not affected by smear layer removal. MTA used as a root filling material can penetrate up to 90% of all the dentinal tubular lengths. Mean penetration depth were greater backward-linearly compared to mesiodistally, and more crystallization in the mid-root or coronal root canals than the apical root canal, because there are many more, significantly more dentinotubules in the coronal one-third compared to the apical. MTA intratubular penetration depths varied from 352 to 1,821 microns, can extend to the limit of cementum. So meaning you can reach the root surface. So there are many advantages using MTA as a root filling material, especially in retreatment, because you have bacteria in the dentinotubules, and you have biofilms. So if you use MTA, this is MTA, here this is MTA, and this is dentin, you will have interfacial layer consisting of hydroxyapatite. So this is the reason why you have very strong connection, bonding between MTA and dentin. Even if you use EDTA, it's okay, but you don't have to use EDTA. With smear layer, you have better sealing ability. So here is MTA, and here is dentin. If you have smear layer, it's okay. It doesn't affect the outcome. Actually, it's better to have smear layer. This is 5 years after MTA obturation. There is no space between dentin and MTA. 7 years, the same. 8 years, the same. You see the chemical bonding. You see the dentinotubules completely crystallized. And actually, osteoblast cells are very happy to be on MTA. Look at them. They proliferate on MTA. But if you incubate MTA on amalgam or IRM, osteoblast cells all die. MTA is the only material where osteoblast cells survive. So which one is good? I mean better, gray MTA or white MTA? Gray MTA shows greater linear expansion than white MTA when they are put in water. So because of the more expansion of gray MTA compared to white MTA, the sealing ability is better for gray MTA. So this is the expansion rate. Gray MTA, 1%. If you look at white MTA, it's less than 0.1%. But if you look at the Gallapagos, they all leaked. The Gallapagos allowed leakage because 7% shrinkage. So which one is better when it comes to the sealing ability? Gray MTA appears to be a better sealing agent than white MTA when it was challenged by human saliva. So if you remove the coronal restoration and MTA was exposed to the saliva, oral environment, but still it has sealing ability. This is the result. After 40 days, MTA allowed 9.1% coronal leakage, whereas white MTA allowed 36% leakage. If you look at the Gallapagos samples leaked, allowed the coronal leakage, 100%. So why, after looking at those studies, why do you have to use Gallapagos? Gallapagos allowed 100% the coronal leakage. So So if you exclude MTA, what will happen? So here is a perforation in dog's tooth. So if they use MTA and amalgam, so this is the histological study. This is MTA, this is cementum. You see the cementum formed directly on MTA. So this is what happened. If you extrude MTA into the periapical tissues, don't worry about it. MTA is highly biocompatible, and MTA induces hard tissue formations. This is cementum. So that's why I use MTA to obturate the canal with and also perforation repair. So you see the big perforation here and here. You see the big perforations. The patient really, actually the patient was begging me to save the tooth. The patient was 22 years old, female. She was still young and she doesn't want to lose her tooth. So I did my best. What I did was I obturated the canals with MTA. I repaired the perforation, the big perforation with MTA. And this is 33 years post-op here. This is 3 years post-op here. And you see the lamina dura completely reformed on the root compared to the pre-op radiogram. And the tooth was completely asymptomatic. So there are many reasons, and which one is better as a root filling material? There are many kinds of MTA. MTA, actually ProRoot MTA is better as a root filling material compared to biodentin or bioceramics. They counted the number of the osteoblast cells, and osteoblast cells were significantly increased when gray MTA was used compared to biodentin, endosequence, or endosequence first setting party. But when it comes to phytopulp therapy, MTA was the worst. Biodentin or bioceramics was the best. They counted the number of odontoblastic cells. So I used ProRoot MTA to obturate the canal with, but I use bioceramics or biodentin when I do the phytopulp therapy. And when the patient came to my office in a big pain, my tooth is hurting, please help. I finished the case in one visit because MTA is anti-inflammatory. They did this study. Look, they use LPS, lipopolysaccharide. This will create acute inflammations. The macrophage will respond to LPS immediately. But if you use MTA, you see the number of the LPS, the number of the interleukin 6 was reduced. Because interleukin 6 was a result of LPS. So to make it short, if you use MTA, the pain will disappear very soon. Do you know if the patient comes to your office with lots of pain and the tooth is still alive, vital, what I usually do is I do phytopulp therapy instead of pulpectomy. Mostly I do pulpotomy because pulpotomy is better to remove the pain from the patient, and success rate is higher. So is the case with acute epicoperiodontitis. When the patient comes to your office in a big pain, I immediately obturate the canal and intentionally extrude MTA into the periapical tissues. And the next day, the pain is gone. That's what I see. And you have to be careful. If you use, maybe I should not talk about this because it will take lots of time. Anyway, if you remove lots of tooth structures, what you have to do is you can place composite after that. If you don't use composite, if you sacrifice lots of dentin, make sure you use composite, and fracture strength will be improved with composite in the defect. And, sorry, I have to finish in almost 15 minutes. So this is another study that I always refer to you. And 90, this is a long-term study. 96% of the teeth treated with MTA barrier technique and adhesive restoration of composite. 45 out of 83 teeth with one or more fiber posts were characterized as healed. So if you obturate the canal with MTA, I recommend you use fiber post with composite, and the survival rate will be improved and extended. This is what they found after 5 to 15 years of MTA obturation. And this is my study. Actually, this study was published from JOE May this year, 2023. What I found was healing was delayed close to 3-fold in the MTA underfilling group compared to the MTA flush filling and overfilling groups. Underfilling group showed the lowest healing rate, requiring surgical intervention in the majority of cases at 6 months. So it's completely different from Garpacha fillings. Look at them. So the blue represents underfilling group and green represents flush filling group. The red represents overfilling group. So you cannot reach 100% with underfilling group, but both flush filling and overfilling group reach 100%. So as long as you are underfilled with MTA, you will not be successful. So this is the result. Here, if you do the overfilling, as you can see, 91% successful. If you use flush filling, little bit less, 87% successful. But if you do the underfilling of MTA, less than 20%. So significantly lower with the underfilling group. And exclusion of MTA does not adversely influence the outcome of non-surgical retreatment. An indication for surgical treatment increase after retreatment when MTA obturation cannot reach the apical foramen. So that's why I'm telling you to reach the working length or extrude MTA beyond the apical foramen. So how do you obturate the root canal? What is the best way to obturate the root canal? So first of all, you can do the normal instrumentation the way you do, but you don't have to create the big taper. You can just use O4 taper instrument. Then, so like this, you negotiate the root canal with the number 10 or 15K file, make a glide path to the working length, then start instrumenting the root canal with a nickel titanium rotary instrument. Then you finish the preparation with number 4004 instrument, then you will pick up one size or maybe two sizes smaller than the final instrument. That could be 4004 or even 3504. So in that case, I will pick up size 2504 instrument as a condenser. Then I will use it and I will rotate the file counterclockwise to condense MTA. This is how you ovulate the root canal. So again, you mix MTA with PBS, phosphate buffer saline, on a glass slab like this, then carry it into the root canal with whatever you like. You can use a plugger or you can use MTA carrier, anything you like. You put it in the root canal and you use T mode. Then I will use 90-degree SGP here, SGP, watch winding motion, until I reach the working length, until I see the reaching apex, then I will click it to use counterclockwise rotation at 50 RPM or 100 RPM. Then I start condensing MTA using an up and down motion. Then when I see the reaching 0.5, then I will activate sonics to remove voice from the fillings or condense MTA further. Then when I see the reading showing 0.5, then I think I finish the condensation of MTA in the epical 1/3. Then I will use pluggers to condense MTA in the middle 1/3. That's it. If you are planning to place a post, then you don't have to fill the canal up to the orifice. You need a space for the fiber post. So this is what I use. Sorry, let me go back. So this is the actual case. First of all, you mix MTA on a glass slab. Like this. This is gray MTA. I mix MTA with PBS in a creamy consistency, like a yogurt. This is the carrier. This is a new carrier from Woodpecker. I put it in the root canal like this. Then I have already picked up the instrument two sizes smaller than the typical size. This is a nickel titanium plugger, Martin Citic. And this is the instrument, two sizes smaller than the apical size. I use 90-degree watch winding motion until I reach the apex. As soon as I reach the apex, I start using counterclockwise rotation with 1 millimeter up and down motion. Now you see I'm using the pecking motion, up and down stroke. Then I need more MTA. I will carry it into the root canal like this. Then take it into the apical 1/3 and do the same. Now, again, I'm using counterclockwise rotation at 50 RPM. Up and down, like this. Then, when I reach the apex, I activate ultrasonics. Now, reading is now 1. So I completed MTA filling in the apical 1/3. Then I can simply use the plugger to condense MTA in the apical in the middle 1/3. Then I have a place for the post. So this is 812 MT. This is available in Vietnam, or this will be available very shortly in Vietnam. So this is wireless foot control. So if you push this one here, you can use T-Mode Plus. We have a new mode called T-Mode Plus, not T-Mode, T-Mode Plus. T-Mode Plus has 3 modes. One is just reciprocating motion, 90-degree watch winding motion, just to carry MTA into the apical 1/3. When you reach the apex, then click it again. You push the pedal, brake pedal, then you can switch to the counterclockwise rotation at 50 RPM. Very slowly. I want very slow motion. Then you can start condensing MTA. As soon as you see the reading showing 0.5, then I will activate sonics. Then you will instantly reach the apex again. As soon as you reach the apex, you will use up and down motion until you see the reading showing 0.5, meaning you have completed MTA filling in the apical 1/3. Then I will start condensing MTA in the middle 1/3. This is how you obturate the root canal. It's very simple. So MTA is named after this car. This car is called 812 Superfast SF. The color is the same. Sorry, what is this? So this is 812 SF. Sorry, I have less than 9 minutes. So let me skip this one because this is less important. So again, here, so this is how you condense MTA. First, you have to be connected to an apex locator. I use AIPEX from Uzbekistan because 812 MT can be connected to an apex locator, AIPEX. Then I will pick up the instrument as a condenser, 2 sizes smaller than the apical size. Then you carry MTA to the apex using 90-degree SGP. As soon as you reach the apex, you will start using counterclockwise rotation. Then you will see the reading. Here you will see the reading 0.5. As soon as you see the reading showing 0.5, I will hit it again to activate sonics. Then you will go down back to the apex. Then use short up and down motion to condense MTA. Then you will see the reading again showing 0.5, meaning you have completed MTA obturation in the apical 1/3, right here. Then you can use plugger to finish MTA condensation in the middle 1/3. So mix MTA with VBS and take it into the root canal like this. And this is the 90-degree watch binding motion. As soon as you reach the apex, then I will use counterclockwise rotations. Up and down, up and down. Now this part was condensed. Then the reading shows 0.5. As soon as you see the reading showing 0.5, I will activate sonics. Then you will reach the apex again use up and down motion, the reading is again 0.5. Then you can finish the case with the plugger condensing MTA in the middle one third. That's it. So I have many cases, but I have too many cases to show you everything. So in the treatment, as I told you, 90% of the refractory cases have the biofilms in the apical one third. In that case, you have to use two irrigation techniques. One is piezo flow, the other one is the experience finisher to mechanically remove biofilms from the root canal wall. In addition to that, you should use MTA because MTA can eliminate biofilms or at least reduce the biofilms where you cannot touch the canal walls to remove biofilms. So if you use gray MTA, the first 3 to 24 hours, the reduction rate, biofilm reduction rate is only 18%. But over time, the biofilm reduction rate will increase over 70%. However, if you use premixed MTA, like bioceramics sealer or bioceramics putty or end sequence root repair material, anything premixed, the first 3 to 24 hours, biofilm reduction rate is higher, 70%. But as the time goes by, the reduction rate will be decreased. So it's not good because I want to wait. It takes some time until the biofilm will be resolved. So that's why I want to use MTA powder mixed with PBS. So don't use premixed MTA. It's not good when it comes to removing the biofilms, according to this study. So I will show you some cases, interesting extreme cases. So you see the big region here. You see the external root resorption. Remember what I told you earlier in the morning? 84% of the cases with periapical radiolucency have the external root resorption. In that case, I need to extrude MTA, like this. I waited 2 years. Now you see the hard tissue formation. Look at this. What is this? This is hard tissue formation. There was no hard tissue on MTA, but now you see the hard tissue formed on MTA, directly on MTA. This is the same. You see the big external root resorption like this. You see the big external root resorption. You see an oval root canal. I intentionally extruded. You see the external root resorption. Then I waited more than 1 year, 18 months. What is this? This is hard tissue. It used to be concave. Now it's convex. And this is another case. You see a big region on the two roots. I intentionally extruded MTA like this. I waited 10 months. Then you see the healing. Very nice, beautiful healing. Only 10 months after the extrusion of MTA. Another case, you see the big region on the central incisor, maxillary central incisor. I intentionally extruded. Look, this is the extrusion. And this is 6 months post-op showing nice hard tissue formation. Another case, you see the external root resorption. You see the big region here. There is no bone, no cortical bone on the lingual side. I intentionally extruded MTA. This is 2 years post-op showing nice hard tissue deformation in the defect. You see the now cortical bone on the lingual side. There was no cortical bone on the lingual side. Now, 24 months after the retreatment, you see healthy cortical bone deformed on the lingual side. Here, you see the big lesion on the root. Then, I intentionally extruded MTA. And this is 6 months, 24 months showing nice periapical healing compared to this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. So I will take some questions if you like. And I will do the selfie if you like. Thank you very much. And I will go to the demo, but I will take some questions before the demo. If there is no questions, I will immediately go to the demo.
Các anh chị có câu hỏi thì chúng ta có thể đặt trực tiếp với em và em sẽ chuyển gửi lại cho thầy để thầy có thể trả lời các câu hỏi của chúng ta.
Yeah, please come on the right.
Nếu có ai có câu hỏi chúng ta có thể giơ tay.
Biết rồi.
So could you switch to the
We have a
microphone?
questions.
Could you switch to the microphone?
There is a question for you.
Oh, okay, okay.
In case we have a fracture, root fractures, so is there any tips when do we do the irrigations? Do we need to do we have any cautions when we irrigation in case of fracture root?
If you see the vertical root fracture, the tooth must be extracted.
But the horizontal fractures.
Oh, horizontal fractures.
Bị thầy cũ nghệ.
Normal irrigation. I use, my recommendation is always the same. I use high flexi, the XP and finisher, and also piezo ultrasonic irrigation.
Thì thầy có chia sẻ là với những cái ca mà chúng ta có cái đường nứt, nếu mà chúng ta làm đường nứt dọc thì cái răng này sẽ phải nhổ bỏ. Nhưng mà